In today's video, we're going to take a look at 10 more random things you'll want to know before living in Cedar City, Utah. My name is Elizabeth Prisbrey. I'm with Stratum Real Estate Group. If you are looking to buy, sell, or invest here in Cedar City, Utah, or really anywhere in southern Utah, I would love to help you out with that. Please feel free to call, text, or email anytime. That contact information is down below in the description. All right, so we have done a 10 random things about Cedar City before. This is 10 more things, and I will keep bringing things to you as I think of them or as you leave them down below in the comments. Some of these are from some of you that left comments, so thank you for that, because I don't know all of them. I would love to say I know everything. I don't, but I'm willing to learn, and as I do, I will bring it to you. Now, these aren't in any particular order, just 10 random things that I think you should know before living here. The first one I want to address is our gutters, or our driveways when you are going into a shopping center, even to some homes. They are very, very aggressive, and what I mean by that is when I first moved here, I had a car. It was lower to the ground. I would have to take those gutters at an angle and slow to get into them without destroying my vehicle. I have since upgraded. I'm a little bit higher off the ground, but I still take some of these gutters at an angle to make sure that I am going in smoothly. I even had a client recently that negotiated having a ramp put before they went into their driveway so that they could get their high-end vehicles that rode a little lower to the ground into their driveway without any issues. That is how aggressive our gutters are. I'm not really sure why. If you know why, leave that down below in the comments and educate all of us. The second random thing I want to share with you is that if a holiday takes place here on a Sunday, oftentimes it is celebrated the day before or the day after, depending on the calendar. It isn't all holidays, but for the most part, this will happen here. Halloween is one of them. We have a high Mormon population in Cedar City, and they tend to keep their Sabbath day holy. So if we have Halloween that falls on a Sunday, then expect to see a lot of trick-or-treaters coming to your home on the Saturday evening before. That doesn't mean trick-or-treating doesn't still take place on Halloween. Of course, not everyone here is Mormon, and so a lot of people will still go out, but don't be surprised if you see that some of the holidays here are not celebrated on Sunday. Now, the third one is for you gardeners. I do not garden. This was brought to me by somebody else in the community. This is information I want to pass on to you. But if you garden, they say never to plant your garden until after Mother's Day. The reason for that is our weather here in Cedar City is pretty unpredictable. If you've watched enough of my videos, you know that, especially as we get into the spring, we will see 4 seasons in a day sometimes. You can get up, it's a beautiful morning, the wind's not blowing, you can go outside in a light jacket. A little bit later in the day, that wind picks up, you start to feel a little bit cold, you put that jacket on, then the wind dies down, but the sun's out, so now you're warm, you have to take it off. It's a whole process. Now, the reason for planting so late into the season is because we might have one-off days of snow. It is mid-March. We are nearing our first day of spring here in Cedar City, but we just had a couple of days of snow last week that covered the mountains, and I still see a few little patches on the ground here. So if you garden, don't plant until after Mother's Day to give your garden a better chance. All right, number 4 is we have a dry climate. Yes, we are in a desert. However, because we're in a high desert, we have more greenery, so some people underestimate how dry our climate actually is. Plan on needing moisturizer, plan on making sure you get plenty of water in. We are still in a desert, so we are still in a dry climate, and that often surprises people. I'm from Las Vegas. I am used to a dry climate, so for me, it feels wonderful. I love it. If I go anywhere like Florida or California, I feel incredibly sticky because I am so used to the dry climate. But if you're coming from somewhere like Florida or California or Texas, where it is a little bit more humid, then coming to Cedar City will feel pretty dry for you. So make sure that you are prepared for that and that you are aware of that. All right, number 5, this often surprises people, but we have very few pools. Again, we are a desert. You would expect that we have pools where you can get out in the summertime and refresh in that water. However, we are a high desert, so our temperatures aren't quite as warm in the summertime as they are, say, 45 minutes south in St. George. If you want a pool, St. George is a great area for you. There are quite a lot of homes there that already have pools, so you wouldn't need to put one in. However, in Cedar City, I actually just saw my very first pool at a showing last week, and it caught me off guard. I didn't expect to see it. There are not a lot of personally owned pools or in-ground pools here. We have a lot of people that get hot tubs, above ground year-round spas, jacuzzis, because it feels wonderful in our cooler months. We have our Cedar City Aquatic Center, and that pool can be used year-round. It is indoor. In the summertime, they open up the outdoor portion, so you can go there. They have lanes where you can swim laps. There's also a pool over at SUU, or Southern Utah University, and then in the summertime, they open up the lake on the hill. This is a man-made lake just behind the aquatic center where you can actually sit on a beach and swim in that water, paddleboard, fish, whatever you want to do. It's more central. So again, not very many pools, if any, here in Cedar City. That is a shocker to a lot of people. All right, number 6, Cedar City does not actually have cedar trees. They are juniper trees. When you come here and you see the natural landscaping and all of these green trees about, these are juniper trees. They originally thought they were cedar trees, which is why we were named Cedar City. However, they are not. They are juniper trees. That's really just a fun fact about our city, but I wanted to share it because it's how we got our name and thought you might be interested. All right, number 7, you know that we are a college town. We have Southern Utah University, which means we have a lot of college students here. In the summertime, those college students tend to disappear, which means things really quiet down. We still get tourism, but if you are somebody that likes to go to the gym in the morning like I do, it is so nice when it clears out and you are not waiting for those machines. So that's one of the big changes we have throughout the year is in the summertime, most of those college students go home and the town tends to get a little bit quieter. And you'll notice there isn't quite as much congestion around the town as far as traffic, shopping, and my favorite, the gym. Now, number 8, every local knows this, but we have a crazy amount of Mexican restaurants per our population here. We don't have a very high population, just over 40,000 people here in Cedar City, a little over 8,000 people in Enoch, which is just north of Cedar City, but we have a crazy amount of Mexican restaurants for our small little town. I'll do my best to name as many as I can. If I forget some, please leave those down below in the comments because I guarantee I will. We have that many. We have Brody's Mexican Restaurant, we have Lapida's, we have Las Flores Mexican Restaurant, we have Puerto Vallarta, we have El Jefe Tacos, we have Rita's Tacos, we have Cafe Saber, we have Frijoles and Frescas, we have Don Miguel. Then we have more of those national chains that aren't quite that authentic Mexican restaurant like Taco Bell, Del Taco, Chipotle, Cafe Rio, Costa Vida. We have Alberto A's. We just have so many Mexican restaurants here, and I'm not complaining at all because it's my absolute favorite food. I think each one of them has their own unique thing that they offer, and I'm happy to go to all of them, sometimes multiple times in a week. Now, this leads me to number 9. We also have a ridiculous amount of dirty soda shops. If you don't know what a dirty soda is, it's pretty much a soda with an additive. So I like a Diet Coke with coconut cream. They have so many different flavors, and depending on which soda shop you go to, they might have their own concoctions, or you can just make up your own. Now, I'll do my best to name all of these as well. We have Fizz, we have Swig, we have the Soda Shop, we have Slurps Up, we have Mixers, the Soda Nerd. There really are so many. So when you are coming into town, if you've never had a dirty soda, make sure you try one because I'm starting to feel like this is what Utah is known for, is our dirty sodas. All right, number 10, a random thing. Cedar City is home to AMPAC, or American Pacific. American Pacific manufactures chemicals for U.S. defense programs, for space programs, as well as clean fire extinguishing agents. Now, you would never know that our small town houses such a large company like this with such an important job, but we actually have several more big companies that are looking at our area for manufacturing reasons. And a few of the reasons I believe that is we have our inland port that is coming here soon, and Utah is so business friendly. All right, that truly was 10 random things you might want to know before living here in Cedar City, Utah. If you know any more, please leave those down below in the comments. They help all of us, and I actually love reading them. And then, of course, remember, if you are looking to buy or sell here, I would really love to help you with that. My name is Elizabeth Prisbrey. I'm with Stratum Real Estate Group. Please feel free to reach out anytime. I promise you I will respond. All right, until next time, have a wonderful day.